These Mandela effects are going to make you question your reality. So today's video is going to be yet again another Mandela effect video. I love doing these videos still to this day. I mean, you can ask anyone in my actual life. Anytime I misremember something, I'm like, that's a Mandela effect. Literally every single time. Even if I know it's not and it's just me. But these are examples of the Mandela effect being real and it's not just me. I'm not crazy. Allegedly. Anyway, these are some examples of the Mandela effect that have just been absolutely blowing my mind lately. All right, the first Mandela effect I want to talk about is so specific, and I know this for a fact. I always remember the whole story of like after Hugh Hefner died, even though he didn't personally know Marilyn Monroe, he asked to be buried either, I would say, above her or below her so that she or he would always be on top of each other. Like, it was really gross. I remember it being disgusting and thinking that Hugh Hefner was a huge creep from it. That's not what happened. Did anyone else remember being told that? Because he's actually like next to her in the mausoleum. But I swear it was Hugh Hefner who wanted to like always be on top of Marilyn or have Marilyn on top of him. I don't remember which way around it was, but I know for a fact it wasn't just side to side. And I need someone to remember this as well. I think I was watching a TikTok of some sort and it like casually mentioned that they were buried next to each other. And I was like, wait a second, that's incorrect. That's so, please let me know what you remember because I swear that's a timeline shift. I don't even know. Speaking of Marilyn Monroe and like where she's buried, I always believed that she was buried in the Hollywood Forever Cemetery. I need someone else to verify this because this has been making me lose my marbles over the past couple months. I think my girlfriend mentioned it and I was just like, wait, what do you mean she is buried in Hollywood Forever? And she was like, no girl, she's buried in Pierce Brothers Westwood Village Memorial Park and mortuary. What is that? I've never heard of that. Why would she not be buried in Hollywood Forever? Pretty sure like Judy Garland is buried there. Like, it's like very iconic. I just really remember her being buried at the Hollywood Forever Cemetery. If there are people who have visited the Hollywood Forever Cemetery, because I know it's like a tourist attraction here, if you visited it and you remember seeing Marilyn Monroe, let me know. Because I don't know if I just made that up or if it's a Mandela effect, but I need to hear your guys' thoughts. All right, the next two Mandela effects come from the Vampire Diaries. They're kind of niche, they're kind of specific, so lock in if you're a Vampire Diaries stan. So I've been obsessively watching the Vampire Diaries for the last like year-ish, just over and over again. And I don't know how to stop that. Genuinely, I had never seen it before last year and then I watched it and I just was so obsessed with it and I just kept watching it over and over again. So I feel like I'm very qualified to have this knowledge because of how recently I've seen the show and yet there's still so many different little changes. For one, this is kind of like, I don't know if other people will agree with me on this, but I remember when Elena feeds Catherine the cure, she's like, and now you're human or like whatever. But I remember Catherine still being like awake and alive when Elena said this, but she really wasn't. She said it like after Catherine passes out is like, enjoy your human life, Catherine. And I just don't remember it like that. Like I remember her saying it like while she was shoving it in her mouth, you know?
Human life, Catherine.
I don't know. It's kind of small, but it was a big detail to me because the last time I rewatched, I was just like, wait, what? The next one, I don't know if I'm like on a niche side of TikTok, but if you're on Vampire Diaries TikTok, you'll know that this was like a kind of a running joke. And like, I don't really know how viral it is because I'm just also like on Vampire Diaries TikTok. But it was like a whole joke where when Elena's a vampire, she never actually says, yeah, Stefan Vervain. I actually can't even find a clip of Elena accidentally drinking Vervain. So what the fuck is that? And there's been so many TikToks made of it. And honestly, 99% of the time where Nina Dobrev is making that crying noise, it's Catherine. It's not even Elena, which I just feel like I don't remember that. So if you're a Vampire Diaries stan, let us know what you think in the comments because I I don't know. I don't like it. The next Mandela effect I want to talk about is about Jimmy Fallon. So I am very perplexed by this. I was playing trivia and I never realized that Jimmy Fallon only had his show since 2014. There is no way that's possible. I remember The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon existing way before 2014, like 2010 to 2012, like that era seems correct to me. 2014? No, like I was already in high school by then. Like please, someone let me know what you guys think of this, because I was so thrown for a loop when I saw that. I was like, there's actually just no way. What do you mean 2014? So that means like I've just only known who Jimmy Fallon was since 2014? No. This next Mandela effect is something I personally don't relate to, but I know so many people do. A lot of people remember Ruben Studdard from American Idol dying, but I'm happy to announce he is still alive. I don't know why so many of you guys remember this. A lot of people send me this one constantly, and I'm always like, girl, Ruben Studdard is alive and well. Like, he's completely fine. But I guess a lot of you guys, for some reason, remember him dying, which is really sad, and I'm happy it's not true. But let us know what you remember. The next Mandela effect I want to talk about is Shaggy's Adam's apple. We've talked about this one before, but sometimes I just feel the need to reiterate how insane that one is to me. What do you mean Shaggy from Scooby-Doo has never had an Adam's apple? That's absurd. That should be illegal. It is so wrong. No, he 100,000% had an Adam's apple. It looks so wrong without it. There's never a scene where he gulps and you like see the Adam's apple, even though that is also prominent in my head. None of that exists. Like he's never drawn with an Adam's apple. And I think that's so crazy that so many people remember such a specific characteristic on Shaggy that just doesn't exist. And if you look at fan art and different photos, people have tattoos, the Adam's apple is there. Like, don't you usually use reference photos when you're drawing a picture of something? Please let me know what let me know if you don't remember an Adam's apple, because I've yet to meet anyone who doesn't. Just saying. All right, the next Mandela effect comes from Looney Tunes. Everybody remembers Yosemite Sam, and his classic line is what? I would say, what incarnation? And I feel like that is the classic line that he says every single time like you see this character on Looney Tunes. Never said it. He's never said that before. What do you mean by that? No. I need to hear your guys' thoughts on this, especially if you're older than me, because when I watched Looney Tunes, like, I mean, I remember it, but I was pretty little. So I want to also know if you remember Yosemite Sam's catchphrase being what incarnation, because I 100,000% always remember that being a thing, but it's not, and he never said it. All right, the next Mandela effect is one that freaks me out so bad. The Gremlins movie. For some reason, really into this movie as a child. I don't really remember why I liked it so much. I just thought the Gremlins were so cute and I was jealous that I couldn't have one as a pet. But nonetheless, I always remember like the evil gremlin being named Spike, right? Like if you had to guess, what's his name? It's Spike. Why is that gremlin's name Stripe? Stripe? Like I get that he kind of has like stripes on his ears, but that is crazy. There's actually no way. There's no way that that was a thing. And I need someone else to verify this. Again, if you're older, because when I watched Gremlins, I was also very young. But I know damn well it was Spike. Everyone hated Spike. He was just the bad guy. Stripe? Like, that's such a boring name. Like, I feel like that's, like, not even bad guy material. You know what I mean? It's Spike. I would swear it, but let me know what you guys remember. Okay, we have two new Mandela effect proofs of previous Mandela effects that are actually crazy. Like, this shit blew my mind. For one, Home Alone. I always remember the scene in Home Alone where Kevin runs into the church and Harry and Marv are like, I'm not going in there. And Harry's like, yeah, that place gives me the creeps. 100,000%, but he never said that. And a lot of people were like, well, maybe he said it on an old version. But somebody pulled out a VHS tape from like the early 2000s when Home Alone came out, and the scene is the same. There is no "this place gives me the creeps." That was never said.
Maybe we're in the church. I'm not going in here. Me neither. Let's get out of here.
I don't think anything makes me feel more crazy than that Mandela effect, truly, because I watch Home Alone every Christmas like many people do. Don't you think we would remember the correct words? No, like, what, it just, please. I know that one trips a lot of people out, and I have to agree, it's insane. Like, actually nuts. The second little piece of Mandela effect residue evidence that we're going to talk about is from the Fruit of the Loom logo. This is a new one. I've seen a lot of evidence of there being a cornucopia on the Fruit of the Loom. Everyone remembers there being a cornucopia. If you don't, you're literally, I don't even know where you're from. Not Earth. You're insane. But anyway, the Fruit of the Loom logo has never had a cornucopia, allegedly. So if it's never had a cornucopia, then tell me why this girl was playing like a really old game from like 1991. And while she was playing it, it's like a game where you have to guess, you know, the company or the brand or whatever it is. And one of the hints was underwear has a cornucopia. And the answer was Fruit of the Loom.
I found this really old game. It turns out if you look at the back of the box, it's from 1991. The first 3 clues right here are underwear, cornucopia, and apples and grapes. I know it's backwards, but you can read that. It's Fruit of the Loom.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? That's proof. That's just actually hard-hitting proof that the Mandela effect is real. I truly believe that. And, you know, if you look at the freaking facts, so Fruit of the Loom logo actually has never had a cornucopia. Like, if we look at past things, I mean, I've seen pictures of people who have a little Fruit of the Loom like logo on like one of their old t-shirts or something, but a lot of that stuff could be fake. Obviously, millions of people own stuff from Fruit of the Loom from probably like 20 years ago, and they look at their stuff and there is no cornucopia. That's why it's a Mandela effect. It's because the brand didn't change their logo. You can look at it, the logo has always been the same. There's no cornucopia in it ever. So where the hell did we get that from? And with residue like this, that's literally proof. That's proof that we all, like, it existed, but it also doesn't. So what the hell is that? What is that? I need to hear your guys' thoughts on this proof because it honestly blew my mind. All right, the next Mandela effect is for you Brits. People from the UK. I think they have these in Canada as well. But Malt Teasers, I love these things. Anytime I'm in the UK, I get them. I always remember Malt Teasers being spelled like this because that's how you would spell it. Why is it spelled Maltesers? Who is that? That looks so wrong. Like, actually wrong. I need someone who's like actually from and like grew up eating these, because I feel like I only started eating Maltesers like when I went to England for the first time, which was like 2019. So I need to know your guys' thoughts, because Maltesers, like, why would it be called teasers if that's not how you spell tease? What the fuck is that? And it also just looks wrong on the packaging, in my opinion. I don't like it. It actually kind of drives me a little nuts. All right, the next Mandela effect is something that we were all taught, but is not actually true. And it's the fact that cows sleep standing up. I remember being taught this my entire life, that cows sleep standing up, but that's just simply not true. It's literally not at all true. They don't sleep standing up, ever. What is that? Why were we all taught that? And it just feels like the Mandela effect of us remembering that blood is blue before it hits oxygen and then it turns red. Why were we all taught something that's just so untrue? It makes no sense to me. Why? I remember so vividly learning that cows sleep standing up. Please let me know what you remember, especially if you're like a cowgirl farmer. I mean, actually, if you're a farmer, you probably should know that they don't, but I don't know. All right, the next Mandela effect comes from the Honey, I Shrunk the Kid series. I remember the next movie being called Honey, I Blew Up the Baby, but it's always been Honey, I Blew Up the Kid. And for some reason, it sounds so off to me. And I was like looking up people searching this and like search terms as well. And it seems like Honey, I Blew Up the Baby is a way higher search result than Honey, I Blew Up the Kid. And I've never heard it been called Honey, I Blew Up the Kid. And I need to hear what you guys remember on this. And this movie came out in like the 90s, so I wouldn't have really known. But I guess like the original title was going to be Honey, I Blew Up the Baby, but they changed it, I believe, before it even released, to Honey, I Blew Up the Kid. So I need to hear what you guys remember, especially if you're like an early 90s baby. Let us know, because I just feel like the Honey, I Blew Up the Kid sounds so incorrect, which is weird because that's the only way I would have ever known it. So I don't like it. I don't like it. All right, the next Mandela effect. I need to know if this was just me. This could be me being stupid for sure. But recently I saw something about like the Columbine shooting. And for some reason, I always thought Columbine was a community college. Like, I thought it was a college. First, I don't know why, but it's a high school and it's always been a high school. And I need to hear if someone else remembers it being a college, because I genuinely felt insane when I saw that. And I was like trying to explain, and everyone else around me was like, no, girl, it's always been a high school. What do you remember? Am I nuts? Because I remember it being a college. And could that be because like kids used to look so much older, like when we look back? I remember like even like now when I see kids that were in high school in like 2006, like they look literally old. I don't know, it just really freaked me out, and I want to hear your guys' thoughts. And if anyone else remembers Columbine being a college, please let me know. All right, the last Mandela effect before we get into the emojis is about the Wiggles. I always remember one of the Wiggles dying, 100,000%. I remember it. I don't remember which Wiggle it was, but they're all still alive. Like, I'm happy to report that, but like, does anyone else remember a time when one of the Wiggles died? Because I swear that happened. Please let us know, because that one made me feel crazy. All right, let's go into the emoji Mandela effects. We haven't done emoji Mandela effects in a minute, but honestly, they're some of the ones that creep me out the most, because I think it's so weird to completely remember something being there that just doesn't exist. Like, that's nuts. Like the robber emoji, the fact that that bitch doesn't exist, it makes me feel clinically insane, but there are more. For one, I always remember there being a little table emoji, like a little table. Doesn't exist. Not there, never has been. The next one really freaked me out. I 100,000% always remember there being a clam emoji, like a little clam with a little pearl in it. Why does that not exist? I'm literally scared. I'm scared. There was 100,000% a clam emoji with a little pearl in it. I feel like the clam was kind of like pink color. Little pearl, so cute and adorable. I've used it before. It simply just doesn't exist. What the fuck do you mean by that? What do you mean? This one really got a lot of people talking and messaging me after Easter just happened. A lot of people remember there being an Easter egg emoji, and I 100,000% agree. I remember there being a cute little pastel Easter egg with like the decorations, the whole 9 yards. Just doesn't exist. Doesn't exist. And I don't like that. And the last Mandela effect we're going to be talking about today is the clownfish emoji. The fact that there is no clownfish emoji, honestly, that's nuts. Like, I remember there being clownfish emojis so vividly. I could see it in my head perfectly, and it just has never existed. I swear I've literally used it before. What is that? What is that? I don't know. Speaking of Finding Nemo emojis, I also thought that there was a fish emoji that looked like that hot fish from Finding Nemo. I don't think the fish is hot, but like a lot of people like had a crush on this fish, I guess. I swear there was a fish emoji that looked exactly like him. Also doesn't exist. Doesn't exist. So I don't know. Maybe we're going crazy, or maybe we switched timelines. Let us know what you guys think in the comments. But either way, that is it for today's video. If you guys liked it, please give it a big thumbs up. Let me know in the comments below any of these Mandela effects that you relate to, or any new Mandela effects that you've found. Let us know. And especially if they're personal, because I love hearing your personal Mandela effect stories, because I literally have personal Mandela effects probably every day. And is that maybe my memory? Also probably. But I love hearing other people's, because I just find it so interesting. But anyway, that is it. Make sure you follow me on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram, and subscribe for new videos every week. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.